Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV. This is your Northwest Divide brought to you by Boohoo Man. If you want to go check out Boohoo Man, use the code Saeed or scan the QR code above James's head right there. And yeah, man, get 10% off using the code Saeed or go down the link in the description below and get yourself 10% off. Shout out to Boohoo Man for sponsoring today's video. And we're back, man. You know what I'm saying? To Wednesday, we're consistent. You know what I'm
Jeez.
saying? It's a midweek feel. How are you feeling, my friend? How are you feeling?
Me good, me good, me good, me fine, me fine. I'm just kind of waiting for the season to start now, Saeed. I just want to see, I want to see
Hiya.
Summer I want to see Summer I want to see McAllister. I saw them in training and I thought, oh, I
Yeah,
like them in the training kits. Let me see them in the actual
yeah,
game
yeah,
and let's see what they can produce.
yeah. You know what's kind of weird, yeah, is that I actually watch every club's training and I check the vibes. I see who's kind of, you know what I mean? And I seen Liverpool's one yesterday and Shabazlai was leading the fitness test. You know that test that they do. I don't know what
Mm.
it's called again, but they do that
Lactate.
test and he was yeah, that's it. And he was leading it. And I was like, damn, man, he must be like fit as a fiddle. So definitely next season,
McAllister was
you're gonna
goose,
get a lot of
McAllister
yeah,
again.
man.
What's
McAllister was like, yeah, the end is like,
lactate?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, bro, the lactate's ruthless anyway, but it was encouraging to see Sobbers. Like, Soberslai has got that mentality in it. Like, I think that's someone you should have looked at, He's someone with like a
Yeah.
proper mentality. Like proper mentality. Like he's won a trophy every year in his professional career.
What?
He's
Is
like
that
he always
seriously?
talks about his confidence. What?
Has he actually won a trophy every single year?
Yeah. Since he was 16, I think it was. And bear in mind as well, he's Hungary's captain
Wow.
already. So he's got leadership mentality. He's got quality for days. And I think if anyone's going to fill in that number 8 shirt, listen, you can never predict if someone's going to fulfill the legacy of Steven Gerrard. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
can you look at the attributes of somebody? I see Szoboszlai as a better dribbler than Gerrard. His long shots are fantastic. So I have a lot of
Yeah.
encouragement about him. Can't wait to see what he does.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Yeah, apparently Leipzig are the best, and sorry, Red Bull model in terms of fitness and whatnot. They're the best at that model. They spend a lot of money in sports science, so
Nice.
it's no what do you call it reason. And big up to Joey saying, talk to me about Nat Phillips, James. He's his best defender ever, apparently, according to Nat.
Nathaniel
James.
Van Phillips, mate. Nathaniel Van Phillips. Bro, have you ever seen his Cruyff turn on Ibrahimovic?
Bro, I seen it, and I seen the one. There was another one as well. It's only two, or was it one? I'm sure I did something else as well. But yo,
He's
that
done loads of
turn
mad stuff.
was
He's done
different
loads of mad
gravy, though.
stuff.
I gotta give it
Bear
him.
in mind, though, Nat Phillips, yeah, like, listen, he was never going to be good enough to win us league titles, which is fine. But that guy stepped up in a time where we were lounging around sixth and we were losing games at Anfield every single week. So the fact that he stepped up to the plate and he's done what he's done, he's been a great servant to the football club. And I'd be buzzing if he could get a move to somewhere like Leeds, where there's a high chance of promotion. The fans would attach to him if he's done well. And we get a nice little 15, 10, I think it's about 10 mil actually that we're linked with. But he'd probably have to go at some point. We need to sell players eventually, so he's probably going to
Yeah,
have to be one of them. But yeah, he's a legend in his own right, lad. You know what I mean?
absolutely, absolutely. But listen, we've got a lot to talk about. We got Levi
Well,
Colwill again. Another issue that for me, I don't know why it's becoming a main topic of the transfer window. But we want to talk about Jordan Henderson. Some news coming in just now, James. Jordan Henderson might be set to leave, and he has to decide on Etifak in the move in the next 48 hours. Offer is 2 years plus 1 year contract and a 50% pay rise. Henderson and family initially reluctant, but had second thoughts. Al Ittifaq ready to approach Liverpool. So Jordan Henderson, man, he's looking like Gerrard might get his man, which would leave you guys, in terms of leadership qualities. I know we talk about his ability, but still leadership qualities you might be light in that area. But is it right timing for you, bro? Like Jordan Henderson, 33 now, I believe, isn't he? 33.
been right timing,
33
Saeed.
now.
Been right timing for a while. For 2-3
Yeah.
years there, he was probably like one of the most efficient players in our team, which is why we click so well. But that's not been the case probably since 2021, really. So I'm now at a position where I'm thinking, okay, I'm fine with him going. He's got a great legacy. He's been here for 12 years. I'm not like you, Saeed, where I just get attached to the emotional merchants like De Gea. You know what I mean, lads? I'm not like you. I'm someone who, when a
Nah,
player's done, I'm ready
fuck
for
the
them to
hell.
go.
No. But the thing is, yeah, I loved him,
Don't
but I
start
was not
saying
expecting
12
him
months
to
ago
be.
you were riding his nutsack. Shut up. All right, shut up.
So
Like Jordan Henderson,
when did you stop? When did you stop the Jordan Henderson train? Then when did you stop that? Then
probably after the quadruple agency. So about 12 months ago.
12 months ago. I was going to say, because you were talking about Jordan Henderson, greatest midfielder ever with Paul Pogba, and you know what I mean. So
Right, so if we're going
I
to
said
have a
to you, I give
conversation,
you that one.
don't you think it's very important to make sure that you correctly state or quote me? Don't you think that's important?
Yeah. Correctly state and quote you. You did say that around about 2-3 years ago, but not anytime
I
soon.
said he was the best midfielder ever. Like, can we just please don't put
All right.
slander on
He
me
didn't
like
say.
that.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. But he said Hendo Lilian is that, and you know what, Pogba, we can talk and everything
Said
like
he was
that.
in
So
better form than Pogba.
I don't know, man. I
Just to
don't know.
correct you.
You know what? Watch the archives. Watch Energy 2 years ago. The videos are still there, and let me know what he said. You know what I mean?
That'd be great. That'd be great indeed. Go and watch the ones with Rant as well. Now, do you know Jordan Henderson though?
Yeah,
To break down the move to as Gerard, El Eti Fahi. Do you remember when Gerard's on the video?
bro. That
And he,
video, by the way, man. I don't know. He looks like a world leader about to start a war and that. Like, what is that
nah,
video like?
he looks
That is
like the
not
guy who's
him.
about to set up the next lockdown, innit? Nah. Right.
I,
So there's loads of ways you can dissect it. First of all, I think it's interesting that you go to a club or a league with unlimited funds, and the first signing you say Jordan Henderson. I think that's interesting. But
crazy,
then on Jordan Henderson's
crazy.
point of view, I think oh, okay. So there's a few complications here. So first and foremost, I don't think Jordan Henderson sees his England career as finished. I know that he's highly favoured by Southgate, and
Yeah,
this tournament's coming up in the next 12 months. We know that he's made
yeah.
a big effort to get into shape and all these things, which I think the bare minimum is to be in shape as a Premier League captain. But hey ho. Second thing, not to make it too political. But Liverpool and Jordan Henderson specifically have had heavy involvement in LGBTQ campaigns. I'm sure you understand the complications that brings if he goes
Yeah,
to Saudi, and only
absolutely.
because he's been on the front line for that type of stuff. And not
Yeah.
to give my opinions on it all, I'm just simply saying if he went there, I'm sure there would be some sort of
Yeah, you have
explanation
to respect the
necessary.
law. You have to respect the country and whatnot. Yeah, absolutely.
It's something that would need to be established to the people there, and
Yep.
and that's why why would the people be thinking like, why are we paying him all this money? And if he's not going to give us an explanation, I'm just saying that will probably need to be required. So I don't see this turning into fruition. I don't think it'll end up happening. But would I take him? Absolutely. You're telling me we can get a fee for Jordan Henderson? Don't mind if I diddly do, Saeed.
Mm,
Especially at
mm,
33, he's not getting any better. And you mentioned leadership last point. You mentioned leadership. Manchester United let Roy Keane go and still won trophies after. Manchester City
yep.
let company Aguero and all these go, and they only got better. It's
Yeah.
not about stuck in the past. It's about providing the opportunity
He's
for
never been a star
players
player
like.
as well. He's never been a
Sorry.
star player. He's never been a reason why Liverpool have been that he's been the kind of pinnacle to winning you a trophy. He's been part of a team and is a team player, but he's not been the Aguero. He's not been the kind of guy,
No, you're
Yaya
right.
Toure
He's
that
never been the
led.
flashy player. I get what you're saying.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So
You're right.
I understand that absolutely, absolutely. There's a couple of people saying stop thrashing my captain. I don't think he said that in that way. I just think it's time to move on. Sentiment out the
Okay,
window,
so what have I
James.
done? Say, what did I thrash him there? What I just want to
You
correct,
didn't. You
he's
didn't.
not
You
good
didn't
enough no
thrash him.
more. He's not good enough no
Yeah.
more. I saw a photo yesterday of him being fat last season. So I'm just saying, Saeed, if you're going to lead by example, you'd like to think that he's at least in shape, especially for someone who lacks on the technical side. There's nothing about
Yeah.
thrashing. In fact, you're just an emotional merchant, my friend, and you're someone. It's like what the yoga people say. It's like out with the old and in with the
In with the
new.
new.
You know what I mean, Saeed? Got to get in with the new, bro. Got to get because we haven't won nothing 2 of the last 3 years with Jordan Henderson, right?
Yeah.
Why are we
Facts.
going with something where we haven't been winning? Furthermore, people will say, "Oh, you can't let Milner and Henderson go in the same window." Milner should have been gone 2 years ago. So if we went 2 years
Yeah.
ago, it'd be fine to let Henderson go right now. So it's not thrashing; it's just recognizing what he's done and recognizing he's finished. Don't be deluded.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to my guy Zube. He says here Scamacca could be a steal for Man United. In my opinion, he's what Weghorst was supposed to be. Link up and first touch positioning fast, strong, great striker of the ball. Do you rate Scamacca? He's come out with a few quotes which I think have been a bit misinterpreted. I watched the whole article and I don't like the way Fabrizio Romano has twisted them words. To be honest with you, and I would feel bad if I was a West Ham fan hearing that. I don't know if you see the quotes from. He said basically what the context of what Romano said, he was that he likes Rome is his home country and he would love to play under Mourinho. But he did say he was under contract at West Ham and he still, still has a future at West Ham. So again, I think for me he's a good player, but I don't know how much does he suit the Premier League. I've not seen enough of him in the Premier League. It's you can say what it is in the Italian league, but in the Premier League, I don't think he's done enough. But I've seen flashes though of brilliance though, especially the Europa League games. But do you rate him? Do you rate Scamacca?
I would. I'd hate to lie and give a professional opinion on a player that I know very little about. To be honest, I mean, I'm sure maybe systematically Ten Hag sees something in him. Again, it doesn't scream like a name who gets you from where you was last season to first place, which I'm sure Manchester United would like to accelerate that. It's approaching. Is it what 10, 11 years since you won a league title? For your standards, that's not good enough. So, of course, it's about projects and processes and stuff like this, but. Yeah, bro. There's been some weird signings under Ten Hag, and that one doesn't scream to me like a league winner, especially because he was in a team that finished 17th, and I don't remember him having a significant role in either of the competitions. So, yeah,
No, he didn't. He didn't. He started off all decent. He had a few good games and whatnot, but then he just kind of fell off. And Antonio kind of got a position with him. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Also, which is crazy, is that Fulham have rejected a bid for Alexander Mitrovic, which I can't lie. I seen that this morning, James. Like this is getting serious. This Saudi Arabia league are coming to get our best players, man. Like it is
yeah,
mad. Alexander Mitrovic, 25 million. For me, I still think he can play for a decent team still. I think he can still score goals.
yeah,
Bro, like that is serious, man. He's a good player. We talk about Scamacca. He's a good player, Mitrovic. You know what
yeah.
I mean? And he wouldn't be a bad backup if he was at Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Chelsea. Like apart from maybe Man City and the way they play, everyone else could have Mitrovic in their team. I don't know about you.
The Saudi league's interesting. It's interesting. Now the European football aspect. So yeah, UEFA and all the leagues, they still have the power because they've got the eyes on their leagues, and this is the thing for Saudi to then elevate. They would now need to be involved in competitions with us to some degree. So whether it be the Club World Cup, which I think could be significantly more interesting, but if these European organizations and bodies, if they don't want to engage with the Saudi stuff, they can limit this very, very fast. And I'm to be honest, I can see something happening to where maybe this, one of the rules will be like, nah, we're not taking offers from there. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, when you consider the wealth that they have, it's a big threat to European football, and I don't think this part of the world will want to give that part of the world all the licenses and all the eyes on their football, because then that just means less money. And where the money is, it's all up for grabs. So I think it's going to get to a point where transfers maybe start getting blocked off, or I just don't see it being sustainable for one reason or another. I just don't see it being sustainable, that league. But Mitrovic, go in there, get your job. Great striker as well. So I'm surprised that there's not other teams in for him. Like, I'm surprised, even someone in the Bundesliga, like, I don't know, Dortmund or like Bayern as a backup, buy him as a backup for Bayern Munich. Like, that'd be great. You know what I mean? So I'm surprised other teams aren't there. But yeah, it'd be a solid signing, bro. Be a solid signing. It's an exciting project. I just question how long it'll last. That's all.
Yeah, I think for me, it just depends on, because I've seen Al Nassr today, apparently some situation where they didn't pay certain wages to Musa, who used to play for Al Nassr, and now they've been banned from doing any transfers until it's sorted out. So listen, man, there's people on them. It just depends on whether they can sustain the balance sheets, and we can find out if there's anything going missing. You know what I mean? So in that aspect, it's one of them where I feel like for me, it can be sustainable as long as there's no dodgy bending the rules. And like I said to you, if that's all the case, then we should be okay, man.
Did you see the Jamie Carragher
700.
and Rio Ferdinand stuff?
Yeah, you know what? Like, you know what it is. Yeah, I think for me, it's one of them where I see both sides. And I think for me, Rio has got this pure hatred to Carragher. I can feel it. Like,
Nah, it's
I
mad,
just feel
isn't
like
it?
I feel like anything Carragher says, Rio's just gonna find a way to kind of go at Carragher.
Do
I
you know
don't
what
know
I think?
what you think.
I think Rio, obviously, because he was a 10 times better player than Carragher. Do you reckon there's
Cool.
somewhat of a jealousy that Carragher's like a much
Yes.
better pundit? because he is a much better or should I say he's a much more exciting pundit than Rio Ferdinand. He is.
You know what? In that aspect, you're right. In terms of who would be more entertaining, I think Jamie Carragher's more entertaining. 100%. I think Jamie Carragher's more entertaining.
Like Rio doesn't get those viral clips, does he? As a pundit, you know what I mean?
No,
like Jamie Carragher's always in them.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I get that, and I think there's a few sides of Carragher's arguments I find hypocritical. I think there's a few argument sides on Rio behalf I find hypocritical. I just feel like it's tick for tack now. Anything that one says, other one counteracts. But then they brought each other on podcasts, and you're thinking it's all smooth. And the next thing you know, on Twitter, he calls him out randomly, and I'm like, well, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here?
They're just beefing, bro. I have no idea what they like. I got to a point where I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna leave you to it," because I tried to dissect it and see who was right, but I was like, "Okay, apparently there's financial incentives for both of them, so it gets very interesting when you get into that side."
So I tell you what, though, Carragher's definitely got his bag, though, man. He's on multiple platforms. He's on that platform that CBS Golazo, which I like, by the way. And I didn't think he'd get along with Henry and Micah Richards, but they've actually. You know what I mean? They've
gelled him really well, and he's a boss punter kind of lad. Like, even if you disagree with his opinions or you find him hypocritical, he brings so much value on those panels to
Have you met him, by the way?
Have I met Jamie Carragher? Yeah, I've met him loads of times when I was younger, but when the most recent time was in Lime Street, and when I went to Lime Street, he was there by the Cafe Nero stand, and my mate Maxwell, who, funnily enough, this is a gent who ended up going on Love Island. You can look him up, but we were in the same work at the time, right? And he went into Casa de More, not this one, the most recent one. But at this point, he hadn't been on it yet. And he was like, "Hey, bro, Jamie Carragher's over there, you know." I was like, "Is he? Yeah." And then I was like, "Oh, fair dude." And to me, when I hear Carragher, I don't get overexcited because, again, it's just like you're seeing someone.
Yeah, I get that as well.
You're used to it.
Same with Gary Neville.
What?
Yeah. The same with Gary Neville when I see him in town, and I don't feel the urge to kind of, like, you know what I mean, pester him.
It's just like a local lad, innit? You know what I mean? He grew up literally in the area that I grew up in, Carragher, or like 10 minutes down the road. So for me, it doesn't make sense. So anyway, I got a photo for him and Maxwell. And when Carragher clocked me, he was like, "What going on, lad? You still doing your videos and that?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "When are you going to let me come on the overlap and Terry's?" You know what I mean?
Bro, overlap. Yo, by the way, shout out to everybody tagging me in the overlap and the big six and whatnot. But I'm sorry.
Big up. That'd be amazing.
I know, but I'm not welcome, man. I've been told before the producers don't really like my harsh opinions. They think I'm too controversial. So I appreciate the love, yeah. Well, listen, there's been a few stuff that I've heard in it, and basically I'm too controversial, and it wouldn't sit well. That's why they bring the same faces.
Anyway, Saeed, F them. They don't deserve it anyway, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I prefer my own platform where I can say what I want to say. And good luck to them. The guys that go on there, they all do their own job and they all do their own thing. But for me, if I'm not allowed to say what I say within reason, by the way, and it's deemed too controversial, then for me, it's not a platform that
you've got to recognize as well. They've got their own narrative in which they want to spread. You know what I mean? So it's not a case of like they play it out to be open discussion, which to a degree it is. But if you then limit certain discussion, then it's not really open discussion. It's about discussing what you want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Big up Big Ben's for this nice comment. Guys, really releases content worth its weight in gold. Good discussions, insight, and analysis with good varied panel. The least we could do is like the video, show some love, hit the like. Yeah, big up to everybody, man. There's nearly 800 of you in the chat right now. Please hit the like button, and most importantly, subscribe to Jay's Redmond TV, man. So big up to everybody who's locked in. Levi Colwill, talk to me, man. It's getting a bit of a mad one. There was a video yesterday, on Instagram Live with his mate. I don't know if you've seen this, yeah.
Oh, even my Jamaican friends that Levi to Liverpool.
No football talk, man.
No football talk, man. No football talk. I don't know about you, yeah. Before we talk about just in general, this guy, yeah, the transfer. Do you not feel like this is being played? I don't know, man. I just feel like Levi Colwill, does he have that aura to kind of like no football talk, man? Like the way he's moving. Like, fair play to him. Do you get it? Like it's a lot of fight around.
You can't play him up too much when he's 19, you know what I mean? But at the same time, we need a young centre-back, and he just so happens to be one of the better young centre-backs around at the moment, at least in the Premier League. Also, he fits the homegrown quota. He's just had a great tournament for England under 21s. it's a signing I wouldn't mind. The thing that hinders it is the fee, because I think he probably wants to go, to be honest. Because do you remember Reece James, where he got that comment and it was like, "Oh, Reece James to Arsenal, who says no?" And then Reece James responded, "I say no," which is boss.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
It shows that clear transparency to where he was ruling out a move completely. Levi Colwill, he's leaving his options open. And when I analyse the Prem, you're not linked. Man City won't get him because they've literally got that Harwood Bells or someone, and then they've got Stones. So they're not going to go out and get him and get Colwill, are they? So it makes Brighton, I think they offer 40 mil. I couldn't see them offering much more. So I think Chelsea will probably want 60, 70, and that'll stop him, or that'll stop us from being able to get him. But I do think he wants to go.
That's mad. 60, 70 million. For me, it's 40. But then again, you're paying for what he could be rather than what he is. Because what he is nowhere near that amount. But you are paying for potential, guys. That's what Liverpool are paying for now. It is unbelievable potential because he's playing in the Premier League. He's obviously done well at Brighton. He's obviously played a hand in hand in the Euros under 21s. So you are paying for potential. But I just find it crazy, man. Like, would you say there needs to be a cap of how much young players should go for under the age of 21? Do you think there should be a cap in the Premier League of how much they should go for? Do you think that's sensible? No,
not particularly. I think that, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and if you feel like a painting is worth a certain price, you should have the right to sell it for that certain price. Especially young players. I mean, listen, they're the most valuable assets you can have at a football club. I don't think it's overly productive to allow a player just to go on a cap basis. I mean, imagine Mbappe moving to PSG for like cheaper than 50 mil. You know what I mean? I don't think that makes too much sense. I think if you're Monaco, you should be able to maximise those transfer fees, even though Mbappe at the time was, 17, 18. So, yeah, even though I don't think it's overly... listen, if you get him for 70 mil, I don't look at that as a steal. If we get him for 50, I think that can be more considered as, okay, there's room to work there, because even though 50 is a lot, inflation is something that's got to be taken into consideration.
Yeah.
If you ignore
50's
inflation...
30 now. 50's the new 30.
50 is like the new 20, 30, you know what I mean? And even like, it's crazy to put it that way, because we look back at Andy Carroll and 35 mil, that was extortionate money. So now I'm kind of looking at, if we got Levi Colwill, it's probably like in those times 25 to 30 million pounds anyway for a young prospect centre-back. So I'd jump on it. I just don't think we will jump on it, to be honest. I think him and
that's fair.
They can build a decent little partnership.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Mike says here, Paul ain't getting Colwell, James. Said, Eric Ten Hag, third time lucky bid for João Felix. He's been chasing him ever since he took over. Yeah, listen, that rumours has come about today. João Felix for me would make sense on a loan, and then after that, buy him on a fee. But in terms of Levi Colwell, I think it could happen if Colwell makes it happen. If Colwell makes it happen and he goes on a strike and he says to Pochettino, I don't want to stay here, but he's got to have that conversation with Levi, with the Pochettino first. I think once that conversation happens, that's when I think it could get serious. But until that happens, I don't see anything materializing as such yet. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you can talk the talk, but you're on the contract. I think he's got 2 years left on his contract with a year extension on top. That could be added on. So I think for me, Liverpool do need a centre-back, though. That's the craziest thing about it. Because you've got Matip, who I don't think is the best anymore. And B, I don't think Van Dijk is anywhere near what he used to be. So then you've got Konate as your main outstanding centre-back, if you know what I mean. Like, I do think you need a centre-back, but it just shows you this market right now, when you're desperate, teams just pump up the money. Like, if you want a player now, the price goes up, especially if you're willing to kind of pay and want a striker and want a defender. Oh yeah, Gomez as well. But Gomez, is he going to stay though? Is he going to stay?
Yeah, he'll stay. He's not that good though. The Matip one's interesting. If Matip played often, he wouldn't be a bad centre-back, but he's just got injury problems. He's actually, in my opinion, one of the most underrated centre-backs in the league in recent times. He just doesn't play. So it's a big shame, really. So you do need to look for reinforcements. It's interesting, Saeed. I'm kind of confused on I don't think we'll get any more players, but we need. But then in the next sentence, I'll sit there and say we need a DM and we need a centre back. So it does drive a few concerns, but then we also know that if it doesn't align with the finances of the football club, we're not going to jump on it. Which in some senses it's smart, but then in some senses you're kind of limiting yourself to potential success if you don't take these risks. With no risk, there's no reward. So it's important to jump on these deals if you really are confident that they can be good signings. It's interesting the way that the gentleman before said Colwill ain't coming to Liverpool, and then in the next sentence he says Felix is going to United. I don't see that one happening. I really don't see that one happening at all. Don't know how that's a realistic signing, to be fair.
It's not realistic. But then what is a realistic signing nowadays in the market? Because everything just seems to be it's like Caicedo, for me, you said that a year ago, that could have been a realistic signing. But all of a sudden now it's 100 million and it's, you know what I mean? And Chelsea can't afford him. You know what I mean? That's how mad it's gone. Like everything right now, it just depends on the pricing. And teams are taking a mickey now because teams know that teams have got money. But also, when you do sell them, no one's being a bit kind of fair. If you're a salesman right now and you're known for honest and fair prices, I tend to go to shops that have honest and fair prices. You know what I mean? You then go to a shop that has honest and fair prices. So everyone needs to maybe start being a bit more fair about their prices and how they sell players and whatnot. And then the market might be a little bit better. But, be kind. That's what they say, right? Be kind.
Be nice. Be nice. Be
Be
nice.
kind.
Nah,
Be nice. And people will be nice back to you. So
yeah, that's why you've got to build your relationships with football clubs. Like, for instance, we've built decent relationships with RB, Salzburg and Leipzig, like just that brand.
Yes.
We built good relationships with them. So
we need to do that,
Do so. And even us with Southampton, we built that working relationship to where it's like, okay, we know that we've got good negotiations between each other. We listen to each other. And, that means in future, we know we can do business with you guys because there's that trust, which you just mentioned. So if you're United, I think sometimes they just go window shopping and like, I want this, I want this. They're not focusing on those on those building relationships to which can get you those bargains in the near and distant future.
Yeah, people saying we got Ajax, but Ajax is his former club. You can't really say that's, a team that. But it's true though. You need to have a team where you could just work with and say, right, we have talent, we'll sell to you, and vice versa. Work with each other, and that can help. Big up DJ says, big up James. Said Liverpool fans dreaming. He ain't going. I don't know if you're a Chelsea fan there.
I agree.
Kingsley says Levi can't leave as his only left centre back available. Oh, for Chelsea. Okay, fair enough.
Do you know what's interesting though? He's got 2 years left on his contract with an additional 1 year on there. So I think it massively just depends if he plays for them. If he's getting game time and they improve, then I think he'll end up staying. But for now, I do think he'd be very open to a move to Liverpool with the Europa League aspect and stuff like that. And like you said, Virgil, Matip, they're not getting any younger. So there's a place in our team.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, it's 900 watching, only 198 likes. That should be well up. Come on, people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hard. Hit the like button, bottom right-hand corner. Support the channel. Support the Northwest Divide, man. You know what I'm saying to you? So big up to you for watching. I wanted to discuss Chelsea and just in general, their transfer window so far. Do you think they've done enough? I know they might be going to get Caicedo. They were apparently saying that they're going to make a bid for Cherki from Lyon. I don't know if you've watched enough of him.
Yeah, he's like a young. Is he Turkish?
No, he's French, but I think he might be Algerian born.
Algerian born.
But I don't know. I don't know. I might be wrong, but he's obviously plays for the French team. But he's definitely of a obviously ethnic wise.
He looks nice. He looks nice. He's got that nice pure technical ability. It's always tough to buy players around that age group. But yeah, man, like if he got, it's one for the future. I think it's kind of future-proof type idea. It just depends if he'll go to the level that Chelsea need. So it's interesting what Chelsea do. Do they go with the right here, right now, or do they focus on getting these younger players in and then making kind of like Arsenal, a project? I think the latter would be sensible because if you're always going to go with the motion of let's just buy big names, you get into a position where the club's in such debt it's hard to get out of that, you know what I mean? So, as smart as Todd Bowley is, I think he should go with the young players, especially with Pochettino. Thrives off of young individuals and growing them himself. So, I think players around that ilk, maybe with a slightly bit more proven quality, they're the ones. In terms of so far, who've they signed so far?
So they've signed that kid Jackson guy
Yeah,
from Villarreal, and
yeah,
that's it. That's why I'm just like, has it been a great window for them? They did buy the Leon right back Malo Gusto in January,
yeah.
but in terms of this window right now, I don't know. I don't know if they're lagging behind a little bit in terms of that, or have they done majority of their business beforehand? But Nkuku became but then they did buy him obviously in January, and obviously he's become a Chelsea player now. So it's Nkuku, Jackson Kidd, and Malo Gusto. You would say that they've not seen from last season. Do you think they've done enough? Like, because I don't know. For me, if Jackson guy will bag goals, that's why I think for me they need another striker. And then I think for me in midfield, I don't know if there's balance in there. I don't think for me, if they don't get Caicedo in, I don't know if there'll be any balance in that midfield. Because I look at Enzo, he's a good player, but you got Gallagher. Who else is in there? They lost
Um,
Kovacic. They've lost obviously Jorginho. Who else is in there in that midfield? Gallagher and Enzo Fernandez. Who else have they got? I can't
yeah,
remember who's in their
Kante's
midfield.
gone now as well, isn't he?
Andre Santos. Yeah, Andre Santos, but again, he's fairly new. So they need midfielders. I think Chelsea definitely need midfielders.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh
definitely
no,
need them.
yeah, they do massively. If Caicedo is, I don't even know. Lad. Like, yeah, that's a bit of a seedy thing. Like, why are people talking about this Santos like you've watched them week in week out? Chat. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah, well, there
like,
you go.
where's he came from? Where's he came from? This Santos guy.
He's come from the Brazilian league. I don't know which Brazilian league he's
What?
come from, to be honest.
What?
To be
What's the
honest with
track
you.
record for players coming from the Brazilian league to the Premier League and doing well straight away? They need about 3 midfielders, and they're looking at just Caicedo.
Yeah, he's come from. Yeah, I don't know where he's come from actually. Yeah, Brazilian club
Vasco.
Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama. That's where he's come from. That's my Brazilian accent for you there,
World,
by the way.
world class Brazilian talk, by the way. Say fair play,
Yeah,
fair
man.
play.
Yeah, man. Nice one. Nice one. Yeah.
I don't know, lad. I don't know. Chelsea are seedy. I didn't know they were that bad in midfield. Conor Gallagher's meh, meh,
Yeah,
meh, meh, meh. Enzo Fernandez is a nice player. I think he'll end up being good. What's the other guy? The other guy who was out on
Chukwuemeka.
loan.
He's good, He's good, Chukwuemeka. I like him. A
Chukwuemeka.
lot of people.
He's a nice player.
Chukwuemeka.
I don't know if he's ready right now, though.
No, he's not ready. He's again one for the future. The one for the future. I think he's only like 18, 19.
Oh. Wait
So
there,
he's
who's
again
the other
one for
guy?
the future.
Lewis Kane. What's his name?
Who? Oh, Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall.
He's good. He's good. Lewis Hall's good. But
Um,
they've been playing him at left back, so I don't know whether they see him as a long-term midfielder. But if Pochettino can get the best out of him, maybe Lewis Hall, but he's only 18, 19 as well. He's another young player.
Nah,
So,
they need 2 more
you know,
players then, lads. They need
they
at least
need
2 more midfielders. I thought we were bad in midfield. They have got none.
Yeah, and I think we're still bad in midfield, to be honest with you, because Fred will leave, and then he leaves only Casemiro as the only DM and whatnot. So
Fred
I
going?
think I think Fred's gonna go. Yeah, Fred's gonna go. I think
What?
Fred will go.
Really?
McTominay, yeah, Fred will go. Yeah, yeah.
He's a
End of an
legend.
era.
Why are you letting him go?
Fred will tear you apart again.
Didn't man say he was
Fred.
the best midfielder at points last season?
Well, listen, I mean that's rants. I don't speak on behalf of rants, but Francis,
I'm
that's
just
his
seeing if you
baller.
agree with the sentiment at all.
And I think for me, I've always been hit and miss on Fred. I've given him his praise, but I've never really rated him like that. But for me, he's been better than most midfielders last season in terms of McTominay. The ones that
I
he's got
suppose.
6 goals and I think a couple of assists. So, I mean,
Nice.
fair play to Fred. But you know what though? I think if you look at midfielders in the Premier League right now, like who would you say has got the best midfield right now in the Premier League? Is it still Arsenal or Man City? Man City losing Gundogan though is a
Oh
big
no, it's
blow, but they
Man
have got
City by far. It's Man City by far,
Man
and it's not
City,
even
yeah,
close.
Man City,
Not
yeah,
even
yeah,
close.
Man City,
Bernardo
yeah,
Silva,
yeah, yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri. They'll probably have like 3 players in the academy that we just don't know about who'll end up breaking into the team as well. So yeah, but
Yeah.
Arsenal are now putting in a shout too because they've got Jorginho, Trossard. I know he's more of a forward, but he's like an attacking player, isn't he? Like an attacking mid. Odegaard.
Yeah,
I've just lost track with all the players. I know they've only let go of Xhaka. They've
yeah,
still got Jorginho. They've got nice depth, man. Arsenal. I've been saying this. Like, I think Arsenal are going to do nice this year, especially in competition fronts because of the depth that they've got. They've got like
yeah,
they're now getting depth like City. Like imagine Trossard and Jorginho just sitting on your bench, Like, that's nice
Yeah,
quality, man. That's nice quality. So if
yeah.
Arteta can use it right, they're probably going to have a nice season.
Mm. By the way, I've just seen Conor Gallagher. Tottenham are setting sights for Conor Gallagher. It could cost them up to 50 million. This is a crazy, crazy, like, that's crazy, man. Like,
What the
Conor
fuck?
Gallagher,
What are they
50 million.
What are they going to do for new play? Like, you do need a midfielder. You can't go with a 5-5 formation, 5 centre backs and 5 attackers. You know what I mean?
Because Højbjerg will leave in. Højbjerg, that's the Højbjerg replacement, apparently. So if they move, that's what could be the situation with Højbjerg. But I think for me, I don't know, Conor Gallagher in a team where I think runs around a lot, high energy, high pressing, you know what I mean? Not technical as such. That's why for me,
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, he was a good player. You know, but then again, would he suit Tottenham? I think with the way they play, I don't know. It depends on the way they play. But imagine that though, Maddison and Gallagher and Bentancur in that midfield or Basuma. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a strange
Gallagher's a
midfield.
mid-table player for me. I think that's his level.
Easy,
Like, think
no
about it, last
disrespect.
2 seasons, Crystal Palace mid-table, Chelsea mid-table. It's just his level. I don't think he elevates teams to, especially Tottenham, who finished 8th. I don't understand how he gets you from 8th to 6th or, back into European
Yeah,
competitions. I don't align with that idea. How many European spots is there now, Saeed? Because I know there's 5 Champions League spots,
five in
but how
terms
many
of Champions
European
League.
in total?
Oh, it will be what? 7,
Because
isn't it?
it's
Like
7
seven,
usually.
7 usually. But then again, now it will be 8 because of the Conference League. Or
See,
is it changed then?
and that's what I'm asking. Is there just like one less Europa League
Yeah,
space,
let us
or
know
is
in the
there?
chat, people, because
Let us know in the
I
chat
feel
for
like for me, it
sure.
always changes. It always changes. You know what I mean? Every
Because
single time.
imagine 8
You know what I mean?
teams
So
being able to qualify for Europe, by the way. Still
still
7.
7.
So it's just one more
Oh,
Champions League space.
yeah. And it depends on how teams do in Europe as well. So it depends on that one as well.
Okay.
People are saying Fabrizio tweet. No, I don't see no Fabrizio tweet, people. But yeah, I think for me, like I said, I look at Chelsea and I look at I think for me, Chelsea could have a good season next season if they get them signings kind of finalized. If they do, then for me, I think Chelsea could be in there for honestly having a good season. One game a week. Pochettino works with young players. You know, the fact that there might not be no distractions now, bit more balance in that midfield. I think for me, it's a situation. Oh, he said it in a video. Oh, he did a video right now. So he'll probably make a tweet later on. Okay, he says here, Liverpool are not negotiating with Chelsea because they know he's
Fair
untouchable.
play.
He's not for sale.
I've
Chelsea's
been
message is
saying this.
clear. Cole, yeah, you know what, to be fair, you have been saying that. You have been
Because
saying that, to
what
be
people
fair.
get confused on, like the only thing I've spoke about is Colwill might have been interested in joining Liverpool, which I think might have been the case. But we were never going to cough up that money for him, bro. Especially because we've got no one to
Yeah.
sell. If we've got no one to sell, there's no one to bring in, and he seemed to be one of our top targets. So it's another player that bites the dust in terms of one that Jurgen wanted, lad. It happens.
Yeah,
It
no,
happens.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, listen. Well, that's that then.
I
That's
literally
it.
just
It's
done a
not for
video on
sale. And
Colwill before. It was a clip from the stream last night reacting to that same video. So now I'm going to need to do an update.
there you go. Exactly. There you go. Now you need to know that James can hold that L. You know what I'm saying to you? Hold that L.
Leave me alone, you fucking asses. Piss off. Fucking hell.
Guys, keep liking the video, people. There's still nearly 1,000 people in the building. Let's get the likes up to 500 likes. Big up to Convict who's been in the chat telling people to hit the like button. Big up to
Big
everybody
up,
who's
man.
watching. You know what? I wanted to have a little discussion here about
Let's go.
which player has the biggest redemption season. Oh yeah, by the way, I think AJ, you might have been late to this one. We talked about it at the start, but Henderson could be on his way to Al Ittifaq, Steven Gerrard's football club. He's weighing up his options. And as soon as he finds out, what he does with his family and whatnot, he'll make a decision. But I think James Redmond's basically said, you know what, it's time to move on, and there's no sentiment involved with Jadon Henderson. So yeah, big up to you though for the super chat, my guy. But yeah, who has the biggest redemption season? Sancho, Nunez, and we can talk about other players, by the way. The reason why I say Nunez, yeah, is because yes,
By the
he's
way,
probably had
I
a
don't
better
like
season.
Nunez, but he had a significantly better season than Sancho.
Yeah, no. I wanted to. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna put him in there and say he's had a significantly better season than
Fair play.
Sancho. But
Fair play.
for the for the aura that he came with and the announcement and the links apparently to Haaland and the way he kind of was kind of talked about. Like, let's talk about Nunez first of all. Like, could he have a
Go.
redemption season? Can he? Because again, the way I say that as well is because he was drifting out on the left when in reality he's a striker as well. By the way, so Nunez. I know you don't rate him. I know you don't think he's is a good player. What? But could this season be his season? Like, could it? Do you reckon?
Define redemption. So just more goals than last season.
Redemption means more goals, a more prominent role in the club, in the team, and a spearhead in Liverpool's attack, a thorn in Liverpool's attack.
Do you remember when you all was wearing Ronaldo undies and you all couldn't see past the fact, even though he was getting goals, it was making your team worse? Do you remember?
Oh, you're gonna do that one on him? Oh, swear!
Yeah.
You
So
have an agenda,
it's not.
You have a
What?
big agenda against Nunez there. How does that mean? Like Ronaldo's 36, man. Come on, man. This guy
But
can link up
it
play.
relates systematically.
He's
It
got
relates systematically. Okay.
okay.
So
Explain.
systematically, Ronaldo became your main outlet, which seen Bruno Fernandes get less goals, less assists, and all these things. Correct?
Yes.
Thank you. So the point that I'm leading to is the fact that now he became your main outlet. He doesn't necessarily contribute to the overall team, which is why you went from second. Ronaldo joins, you went to sixth. And then Ronaldo leaves, you go back to third. Because now your overall team is more harmonious and it's playing better collectively. Now, I found it very, very concerning that our main outlet, which is Mohamed Salah, who gets way more goals and is significantly better than Darwin Nunez, is now being pushed all the way out by the touchline. Receiving the ball with his back to goal instead of the ball being put in front of him, which is going to limit his goals. Now, who's the chances now going to? The new outlet, which is Darwin Nunez. So it's not
Yeah,
about
I get
Darwin
that.
Nunez being crap. I think Darwin Nunez can be a very solid top 4 striker or top 5 striker, right? But here's the goal. So when we signed Nunez, this was my issue always. We were a quadruple chasing team that was 1 point off the league and 1 goal away from the Champions League. If you think about trajectory and you want to continue to improve trajectory-wise, I never saw Nunez as the guy to replace Mane and get us from second to first. Made no sense. Now, let me also put it in relation to how he played in the first 4 months of last season before we got Gakpo. We were 11th, and people say, oh, give him time. He never got the chances. No, he did get the chances. There was compilations, 10-minute compilations of him missing sitters. You remember this, Saeed? Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
No. I remember, definitely. I remember. And I was there, bantering 100%. Yeah,
Bro, Nunez was doing this week in, week out. Now, the chances that Salah was getting is now the chances that Nunez is getting, and he was missing the chances, and we were 11th. Now, what happens? Nunez gets out the team, Gakpo is brought into the team, and we go on a 9-game winning streak and close the gap from what was 11th to 5th. So, and that now what was required when Gakpo came in was a systematic change to where now you haven't got that outlet striker. Salah can now be the outlet again. And we saw Salah's goals increase. We saw Gakpo absolutely dictating and making more space for the wingers who cut inside.
Can I counteract that?
What?
Can I counteract that in a sense of now, for me, you're getting better players around Nunez in terms of McAllister, Szoboszlai. You know what I mean? Your team now is going to be better function this season as a team, as a unit. So you're talking about the system. Do you not believe now that's why for me I'm saying that is now you're cohesively going to be better with McAllister, hopefully a DM there as well.
How does
As
that
a unit,
relate to Nunez? How does that relate to he can't finish?
No,
He was
because
getting chances last season. I don't understand. Even someone in
No,
the
but
chat just said when we changed Trent to inverted, that was when we changed. No, we went with a 3 at the back. So when Trent went inverted, we had a 3 at the back and then we had a box midfield. We still would have been shit. I'm saying it weren't a systematic problem for Nunez. The problem with Nunez is that he couldn't finish anyway. He was getting sitters. And when you say he can't speak English, that makes no sense. How does saying hello opposed to all that or goodbye opposed to adios translate to good finishing? How?
No, I hear that. But like I said to you, I think the goals are the embodiment of a striker, right? You know what I mean? You associate goals.
Salah.
Yeah, Salah. But I think for me now, though, the balance that maybe was not there with Salah and Nunez, now it will be better now that you've got McAllister and Szoboszlai. I'm just looking at it from the system point of view. You may be better. Yes, the chances. He's not an elite goal scorer. I know that. I understand that. But like I said to you, the amount of chances now, the volume of chances is going to get even better now with Szoboszlai and McAllister. I just think for me, all rounded, you may see a balance now created with Salah. Salah maybe have to do less of a role that he had last year because now he's got balance in midfield. You know, that's just the way I'm kind of looking at it right now. I get your concerns, but I do see the balance, which now, and that's why, for me, you were so bad last season. Another part of it as well is because your midfield was terrible, it was non-existent. So Salah was having to do a lot of running behind and tracking back, and then obviously wasn't allowed to maybe go forward as much as he wanted to. Do you hear that point? Do you hear that point as well, though?
Like, let me just try and find the will to live. No, I can't find it. I can't find it. The will to live is not being found at the moment. Saeed, I don't understand what people don't get. He's way over 16, and finishing doesn't really much. Like, don't take my word. Take Arsene Wenger's word for it. Finishing only gets so much better after 16. Now you can find someone. Salah is a much more mentally stronger player now than what he was at Chelsea. He's not a better finisher, and he's not significantly better technically than what he was at Chelsea. Just not true. He's got a world-class manager who's accommodated him and turned him into a world-class player. Otherwise, you would have seen him getting 30 and 40 goals at Roma. The same way Ronaldo, when he was more in his peak, could go to any team and get loads of goals. But then towards the latter end, he became an outlet. There's no benefit in having two outlets. And when one of the outlets can't finish, that's a concern. So, okay.
You're saying, you're saying Nunez is a detriment to Salah, basically.
No, he's a detriment to a team. If your main outlet is not being able to finish and convert chances, that's a concern.
The thing is, James, though, you're focusing on Salah too much. I feel like you're basically
how do you not? He's been the best player in the Premier League for time.
I get that, but if you're wanting to be a team, and where I've kind of said you're a team, Szoboszlai and McAllister will enable that kind of maybe that friction between the two players. That's why I'm saying the friction that's been created by the two players. Having Szoboszlai and McAllister will maybe enable a kind of different chemistry from before and further enable what they're doing. Do you see what I'm trying to say now? I know it's a lot of words there, but do you see what I'm saying?
I've been getting what you're saying. The chat aren't even catching it. It's going all over your heads. Right. Yeah. He was getting the chances. There was compilations of sitters being missed.
Yeah.
So even if we increase the volume that he gets, the conversion rate still doesn't align or suggest that it's going to improve to where we begin winning league titles. Now, again, he is good enough for a top 4, top 5 team, which is fine. Okay, and maybe in 2-3 years, you can find a way to make him work. But when you spend 65 to 85 million on a striker and you finish second, and now he gets you a 10th, and then when you move him out the team, you rise up to 5th. There's something around that, my G. All I'm saying, if we have Salah, we don't need to rush Nunez in the team. If we have Jota, who's better than Nunez, why are we playing Nunez? Gakpo, who's better than Nunez, why are we playing Nunez? Diaz, who's by far better than Nunez. All I'm leading to, I don't get how people don't. If we weren't creating chances, I'd get what you're saying. If he was getting no chances, he gets chances.
But he is getting a chance.
Good chances.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. No, but you're saying because he is getting the good chances, your argument stands for nothing, basically, in that aspect.
If he's already getting the chances, you're saying Szoboszlai and McAllister will get him more chances, but if he's already getting chances and he's got chances,
I think the balance will be better. The balance, maybe the friction that you... The feeling that you think, yeah, but I understand that, but I'm talking about the balance of what Salah has to do now, and maybe the fact that Salah is being hindered by Nunez. I'm talking about that balance in that aspect. And Salah will then perform better as well.
The reason why Salah was hindered, and this is only if you didn't watch Liverpool last season, it's tough. At the beginning of the season, Salah was moved all the way to the halfway line. He's now receiving the ball to his feet instead of the ball being knocked in front of him. He turns from an outlet to a creator to accommodate Nunez. Klopp done everything systematically to accommodate to Nunez. Nunez couldn't maximize the chances that he was getting. And if people can't comprehend this, then you don't want to win league titles. This is all I suggest. Now, if you think he can be good enough in 2 years, I've never said he can't be. The goal was he was going to be Haaland. The goal was he was going to score 20 plus goals. I refuted both of these claims 12 months ago before he even signed for us. Guess when I said Nunez was shit, Saeed? Guess when I said he was shit?
When he came in.
Was with you.
Is he?
Yeah, I was saying, I hope Man United go and waste 85 million on him. I think that'd be great because he's not that technical. And the only reason why he done well against us in the Champions League at Benfica is because we play a high line. He's rapid. It's not like he's bad at everything. He can be a threat. He can be all these things. And he might end up being good enough to get us third. But again, we didn't spend 85 million to get from second to fifth. And we definitely didn't do it to finish third. We want to win the league, and I just basically don't think he's good enough to win the league. People seem to think it's an agenda. I think it's consistent. If I weren't consistent, then fair enough. But yeah, on Szoboszlai, I think he's going to be good from get-go because of his attributes. Nunez, I don't think he's that good because of his attributes.
Okay, that's fair argument. I know. You know what? You perfectly summed it up at the end. I think for me, his attributes won't suit the league. And it's simple as that. Let's see. That's why I said that's the title of the video. Redemption. Maybe he can do it, and for the good of Liverpool, I'm sure
I
Liverpool
hope so.
and James Henderson would.
I'd love to get egg on my face.
Exactly.
I'll take all the egg on my face, bro. You know what I mean? But
that's what football's about, though. That's what football's about, man. Proving you wrong and whatnot, and as fans wrong, because we all think that we know it all, and the next thing you know, they shut us up, and that's what it's about, man. Being humbled.
Yeah.
Jason McNeil says, "Big up, lads! Fantastic content. Big up to everybody here. Still 1,000 people watching. Please like the video." Sancho. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was part of me that I thought for me sell him this summer. I think for me, when I look at it, and I'm like, is he gonna be better than what he was for the past 2 seasons? I'm not so sure. Is he gonna show me anything that I think that I haven't seen already? Not so sure. But if there's ever a biggest redemption and he smashes it this season, this will be the biggest remontada ever, like generally in the Premier League, because everybody here thinks he's a flop. Everybody here thinks, when most people think, he's not done enough. But does he suit the league? This is a different question to Nunez. Nunez probably does suit the league, but is it probably good enough? Sancho, does he even suit the league? That's the question maybe we should be talking about. And that's where, is it going to happen? Someone said, hey, you can't call it redemption in his 3rd season long. You probably can. It probably is the 1st season and that's it. So what do you think?
He's given Eden Hazard a run for his money, like such a technical player, but just coming to pre-season with a beer belly and that, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Big up to Sancho,
but that's wrong, though. That's wrong. I seen that picture and it's wrong. And I'll show you the video. He's actually not overweight. He's actually calm.
Okay.
It was a wind blowing. So yeah.
He looks like, well, even when he moves, he looks overweight anyway. You know what I mean? Like, bro, he's just not that agile at the moment. I love Sancho. I actually was most convinced out of all the signings you made that summer. I thought he was going to be the best one. If you got Dortmund, Sancho, I just don't see it being like, chat, you let me know. But when I saw Sancho come in, I thought, okay, this is the creativity that United are most certainly going to need. The only issue that I found, and that was risen, was when he came into the league, the intensity weren't matched. His head would drop quite easily. So he can be a great player based on his ability. But it's tough. If it doesn't work out this season, I don't know how much longer you can persist with Sancho to try and make it work. But the reason why it's going to be tough is because who are you going to offload him to? Who's going to take those wages? Who's going to pay the fee that maybe you'd want? It'd be a big asset lost. So you need to try and make it work. And, even him not being in the squad at all for the past couple of months of last season, I think that's got to speak for. That's concerning to me. It's not even that now he's not good enough to start.
Yeah.
There's something going on to where he's not even good enough to be in the squad and he has to go and take some time for himself. And then when he came back, he never really got better. If I saw signs, if I saw signs of getting better, I can sit here and say, okay, next season could be the Sancho redemption arc. But based on what I've seen, I just don't understand. Wait, there, Sancho for me is Nuno 2.0, cost a lot of money and just flopped massively. It's different though, because Nunez is actually, he can add to our squad. He still got 15 goals last season. As Sancho got 15 goals in his United career?
No, he's probably got I think he's got 6-7 goals throughout his whole career in terms of Premier League. I'll look here now, 1 second. Sancho goals for Man United.
It's different. And Sancho, at least the front
12 goals.
12 goals. So his front fee is actually, and think about it, he's had the opportunity in Europa League to even stat pads and whatnot, and 12 goals, he's not good enough, bro. He's not good. How many assists has he got? Because I know he's more known for his assists. He's not necessarily
I'll have to check that one out.
Fair play. That's more difficult to find
out.
But yeah, bro, I don't know. Nunez is one of those. Are you saying that Nunez has 9 goals? He has 9 Prem goals. He has 15 goals in total.
6 assists.
Wow. Oh, no, he's being poor, man.
6 assists, I think it is. I could be wrong. Let me know in the chat if I'm wrong as well. That's just the way.
I think what you're trying to do as well, to be fair.
12 12 goals, 6 assists in a Man United shirt. That's basically Jadon Sancho.
It's
Yeah,
not great. It's not great.
exactly. But like I said to you, it's one of them where now there's competition. Now Amad Diallo's in there. You got obviously Anthony's second season. And by the way, with Anthony, I don't think it's redemption. I just think we've not seen enough. So hopefully, like I said to you, I don't know whether we could call Anthony redemption season. You know what I mean? Because he kind of helped our system a little bit in terms of what Ten Hag was doing. He created a bit of balance. He created a bit of, you know what I mean? He was kind of key to Ten Hag's plans in that sense. So I wouldn't call Anthony a redemption season, but I want better though. I want better. But like I said to you, the Sancho situation cannot go away. He's gonna be even more scrutinized. Do you reckon for me he's got the mentality to kind of rise up to it though? Like, do you think he's got that know-how to kind of say right? Because I don't see that in him. I don't think mentality within him. I just
Are you
don't
on
see him
about
saying,
Anthony?
right. No, Sancho.
Sancho. No, that's what I question is if there was something elite about that mentality, then I don't understand how he's at least not in the squad or kicking up a fuss type idea. I think he's quite just satisfied getting big wages, and I honestly do not know. I'm a big fan of Sancho, so like I don't want to sit here and say he's finished and he's never going to come back. He was amazing at Dortmund, amazing, and I'm so surprised he hasn't
Amazing,
been able to convert that
I'm sick
in
of
the
them
United
comps, you
shirt.
know. I'm sick of anyone who puts a comp out on Twitter and puts a comp of Dortmund and Sancho because it just makes me feel like bloody hell, man. That player is there, but we're just never going to see it probably. Like that's why it makes me sick because I'm like, there's a player there, but also German league. Like, that's why I'm not watching it this season. I'm sorry, guys, yeah, but I'm not watching the German league this season. A, because Bayern win it every year, but B, I just feel like it's just like, what's the point when every player that comes there? Obviously, Szoboszlai might be different and whatnot, and he might actually do well. But I just think most players that come from
Some
Germany,
nice players who
in
come from
general,
some of the best Premier League players ever have played in the Bundesliga. Roberto Firmino, KDB, like some of the best names have came from the
yeah,
Bundesliga.
they have.
Gundogan,
Maybe wingers then, maybe forwards then, but maybe
maybe.
midfielders is different. But forwards generally haven't done well in the league. But again, like I said to you, maybe it's a United thing because we've had Kagawa, Mkhitaryan,
Haaland as well.
you know,
Haaland's another one. So you've got two forwards there, Saeed. So what are you on about? Stop
maybe
dishing the
okay. That's why I
Bundesliga.
said by United. We've had Kagawa, Mkhitaryan, Sancho. You know what I mean? We've had a couple that have come from the German league and it hasn't worked well. So maybe it's a United curse then. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just my United then, eh? You know what I mean? So yeah, that in that aspect then it is. Anyone else? Anyone else that's had a good who might have a redemption season?
Are we talking about United or Liverpool?
Just general, anyone else?
In
Any
general,
shouts?
like
Let us know
someone
in
who
the
played
chat, by the
poor and
way,
could
guys.
bounce back. Do you see room for Human Song coming back? Because I thought he had a poor season.
Nah, I think for me he's built up a lot of you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Miles on the
Like,
clock.
yeah, he's done it.
Whatever.
Like Sterling, maybe Sterling. I think Sterling.
Do you know what? If Chelsea systematically sort out their team, then yeah, I think you can find something for Sterling there for sure. And that'd be interesting.
Sterling.
That's actually a good. I like that shout. I don't know if it's definitely going to happen, but yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
We've got another one as well.
Go on.
Richarlison.
No, he's shit.
Richarlison.
He's shit. Don't do this. He's shit, lads. He's a meaty footballer with 5-star skill moves. Like, come on. Why are we still doing this? He was average at Everton. He went to Spurs. I had the argument with Toby, and I told him straight. He's just a pigeon celebrator. Outside of this, he's very limited, right? So here's the score.
Right, listen,
And I'm so happy he
Postecoglou
deserved
might get
that. He deserved that at
Yeah.
Anfield where Jota shut him the fuck up, lad, because he's a meaty player. And everyone thought it was an Everton agenda. The same way they thought I had a Nunez agenda. But it just turns out he's not that good at footy. How about that? Leave him to the World Cup.
Yeah, Calvin Phillips as well. I think for me, he's another one.
He won't even
But
play.
again,
He won't get a chance to have
he won't even
redemption.
play exactly. People say Jesus. Nah, Jesus had a decent season. Let's not do that, man. He's
good.
Other-
Reece James is a great shout because he never played barely last year. And I've always said this with Reece James. People didn't really like it at the time. But, like, do you know why Reece James? Because Trent started a bit earlier than Reece James, starting regularly, and he won trophies. So we had the trophy.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
I always said, like, don't sleep on Reece James. Like, he's actually, like, if he's not on the level of Trent, like, he actually could be slightly above him in some aspects and attributes. Like, shooting, fantastic. Defensively, strong as fuck.
Yeah,
I love Reece James. I think I hope he finds his feet.
Yeah, Mudryk for me as well. I think for me, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of
You need to have had a
unwarranted
good
hate
season
on
to
Mudryk.
redeem yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, man, that's another one as
or
well, man. You need to have
redeem
it.
for a reason. Like, when has he ever deemed himself to be a world class player in the first place? Mudryk was one of the
Yeah,
weirdest signings for me ever. Even when Arsenal was linked.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, listen, there's going to be a couple, man, next season, man. Like I said, too, it's going to be a wild season.
That's
And
right.
hopefully, like I said, we'll have a good season. But listen, big up to everybody who's watching. I think we've just about reached 400 likes. If we could get 500 likes, guys, if you're
Yeah,
watching
let's
right
smash
now,
that. Let's smash
let's
that.
smash that. 100 of you just like the video, just 100. Like I said, it's 379. We're probably on 400 right now, so make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you check out Boohoo Man as well. Shout out to them for sponsoring the video. Check out the offers that they've got on there. 10% off using the code Saeed. James, you got the Levi Colwill coming up, man. Let them know what you're doing, man.
Yeah, man. So, just guys, keep an eye out on JRTV if you want to keep up with Liverpool news. I'm even going to be doing a video, probably on Onana later today. So if you want to hear my
Okay,
opinion later on
make sure you do.
that transfer and United season, then feel free to tune in. But guys, as well, smash those likes, please do, because it helps Saeed. You know, the consistency that he's bringing, it helps Saeed do this on a more regular basis. It gets it more into the algorithm. And to be fully transparent, if you want to help him to the maximum and you can't donate, get in the after this stream is done. Get in the comments and just leave a comment just for the algorithm.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd mean the world, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate that, James. And I'll be doing the watch along. I think Man United play Leeds. Pre-season friendlies back, so
Yeah.
make sure you tune in, watch along. And yeah, Leeds are falling apart again. Listen, we'll do them again, but we always do them, and we'll do them again. Take care.